Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings, with me, Gretta Chamberlain, and the Realm of Beings. Shifting Impressions, which is one of the vehicles that supports the transmission of the Realm of Beings, is here to assist you in delving into your being by providing numerous topics and discussions for you to intake as you deepen your connection with your inner world. Shifting Impressions is here to assist you in strengthening yourself as you excavate to understand your true nature. Join us today and learn to shift your mindset, shift your thoughts, and shift your focus to recreate your life and produce a new you. Shifting Impressions starts now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day you're in. Welcome to Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings. I'm Carol, and I'm here with my lovely co-hosts, Gretta and Kathleen, and of course, the Realm of Beings. We're quickly going to announce that our next expo will be in California at the LAX Airport Hilton Hotel. That's February 7th. And to February 10th, you can get your tickets online at www.consciouslifeexpo.com. Gretta will be giving free psychic readings, and Shifting Impressions will broadcast live with guest Alan Steinfeld. So get your tickets soon. It's next week. We then are going to have March 7th to the 9th in Edison, New Jersey. It's the Heart of Oneness Holistic Expo at the New Jersey Convention and Expo Center. You can get those tickets at www.heartofoneness.com. And then by popular demand, back in New York City, this time March 28th to the 30th at the Hotel New Yorker, which is 34th Street and 8th Avenue. And that's at www.newlifeexpo.com. So get your tickets for all those situations where you're close by us and come and meet Gretta and the Realm in person.
We're also in Florida too, Carol.
Oh, I didn't have that information yet, but we have time because that's at the end of March. You can always experience and catch up on any of these expos that Shifting Impressions will be doing on our website, www.therealmofbeings.com, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Transformation Network, or any of your streaming platforms that are your favorites. We at Shifting Impressions are very happy to be here on Transformation Network every Friday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time and 8 a.m. Pacific. Listeners and viewers, if you're new to the podcast, thank you for joining us and sharing this experience. These conversations will help you look at your life and your creation of reality to see what you're creating, how it shows up in your life, and how to help you gain perspective so you can learn how to shift what you are creating in order to create what you want. So welcome everyone to new listeners and viewers to the podcast. So this week, the quote given to Gretta by the Realm is about energy. Speak the language of energy. Energy has its own language. The podcast is centered around energy and how to communicate with it. And I love this topic because everywhere I turn around, I'm seeing energy, frequencies. But I had two distinct impressions with this. One, because of the word language. I remember Gretta always telling us in the Realm, watch what you think, watch what you say. Keep it of high vibration because you will attract to you what you're speaking and what you're thinking. So that was one side of the energy definition I got. The other side I'm thinking of are frequencies, because you can go all over YouTube. They have different hertz for frequencies to manifest abundance, to manifest love, to manifest healing. So that's the other side of the language. And I'm sure that the Realm is going to give us a better description than I just did. And I'm sure Kathy and Gretta can also weigh in and give a better description than I just did. So who wants to go first?
I will, because I'm not. Look, I'm going to let Gretta take over in 2 seconds. When I saw energy has its own language, I saw energy as being alive, being a living thing.
Right. Right.
part of the force. So therefore, I am the energy, and everything on this planet, everything in existence speaks its own language. And since we're all energy, I guess my question is, are we all speaking the same language? And if we are, can we hear? And piggybacking on your frequencies, can you tune into certain energies and tune out, which I'm sure Greta will expound upon that or expand it. But that was my thing. I saw it as a living being. And since I am energy, really a quote about me.
I
Mhm.
agree with you, Kathy. I agree. Greta?
Oh, wow. This quote to me seems so simplistic because, some of
Mm,
the quotes that we've been working with have been two, three sentences, but this one was just plain simple. Energy has its own language. And that is so important for us to understand because the energy, along with the unconscious, supports us in the creation of the realities that we have. And it makes it easier if you can speak the language. It's like going into a foreign country and you're struggling because you don't know the language.
mm,
So you can make mistakes or you don't understand what people are telling you. You lose your directions. You don't know which direction that you should go into because you can't understand. So
mm.
it's the
Good
same thing with
analogy.
it. It's the same thing with energy.
Hmm.
And when we talk about here on the podcast, we talk about creation of reality. That's what you're using. You're using it. And um, it's like one example that I use is the word fearless. If you say, I am fearless, if I'm telling you and Kathy in the audience, I am fearless, you're going to interpret that as being, I do not have any fear. But the energy doesn't do that.
Just knows that this fear is there.
Right. That's right. What did you say? It a little bit louder,
I'm
Kathy.
sorry. You're acknowledging that fear exists. That you already have the fear. For you, so that you can't. You say you're fearless. It means you're acknowledging that you have fear. That fear is there.
Absolutely. Not in the English language or any other language
The
that people
language of
speak,
energy.
but the language of energy, because it's going to cue into fear. So you don't want to use things in affirmations that are requiring you to stay in high vibration. So you're not going to want to put a low vibrational word with another word
Like
and try.
saying I'm cancer. I'm experiencing not attracting cancer to myself means it's another way of saying the energy is going to say, "Oh, you want to experience cancer," or you
Absolutely.
already acknowledge that cancer is there for you.
Absolutely. So, and that's why we're saying to people, watch, not only watch what you think, watch what you speak,
Hmm.
you see, because what you speak is uh is going to be read by the energy and the unconscious that this is what you want to experience. Like today, a lady knew that I was going to Los Angeles. So, and that I was going to be speaking there. And she said, well, knock 'em dead. So,
Mm.
I told her, I said, I don't think I want to do that. So we say things without thinking about them.
The
So
words.
it's okay for the English language, Spanish language, Tagalog, whatever you speak, but it's not okay for the language of energy.
Right.
I got that part right then, didn't I?
Yes, you did, Carol. Yes,
So,
you did.
um, I actually had heard about that many, many years ago, and an expression that I totally took out of my uh, language to ever use, that people still say. I hear people say it. Oh, I love you to death. why would you say that to someone if you love them? Why are you using the word death? A better way to phrase what Greta said, instead of saying I am fearless, is to say I am experiencing feeling safe and secure at all times.
Or brave or courageous.
Brave or courageous, right? Only high vibrational words. And Greta taught me that the very first time I met her, because it was right after a new year, and I thought I had made all these great affirmations. And she goes, read them to me. And as soon as the first one I read, she went, stop, that's wrong. I was like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? But yeah, I'm very cognizant of what words am I thinking about and what words are going to pass through my lips that I'm going to send out into the unconscious and the force that they're going to manifest it for me. So
Right. There's another phrase
think,
too that some people say, oh, that's driving me crazy.
mm,
And I tell them, I said, watch what you're saying.
yeah.
Watch
These,
what you're asking for.
these
Because see,
idiomatic,
what did you say,
I
Kathy?
said these idiomatic, because I think they're called idiomatic phrases or stuff, idioms.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's like we are so conditioned and programmed because we see them as very witty, sayings and things, and because they're succinct and these short little quips, people use them a lot. Like go break a leg, and you tell the actor, "Oh, go break a leg." Oh, well, that's for good luck. Well, that doesn't mean good luck breaking a leg, So I hear what both of you are saying, but the challenge is not saying it. Like my father used to say, wringing your neck like a bunch of chickens, And I said that to Greta. She thought it was funny, but I mean, some of them are funny. But you're right. We should watch what you're saying. But sometimes, to me, so I guess I keep seeing what we're talking about as like restrictions. It's like, oh man, I can't tell a joke. Oh man, I can't use that expression. Oh man, it's like you're taking all the fun out of being human. Now, see, look what I just said. Look what I just
Yeah.
said. Keep all that realm. But I mean, it's like I guess I'm speaking for a whole lot of people that are thinking what I just thought. Because then you walk around, did I speak that? Did I think that? But is thinking something weaker than speaking it out loud? What's the difference?
It's done. It's done. Soon as you think it, it's off.
It has
Soon as you think it, it's up on the matrix. There's a
Okay.
matrix.
exactly.
You get a matrix for every thought that you have in your mind. There's a
Oh,
matrix. Soon as you think it. What the actualization of it occurs once you add the energy to it.
energy, the emotion,
And
the
the
gas.
energy that you're going to be adding to it is emotional
Yeah, the
energy.
Right.
gas, emotional
Right,
gas. Yeah.
right. Because see, the
Emotion.
first thing you learn in metaphysics, the first thing I ever learned when I started learning that was thoughts are things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you learn, thoughts are
Yep.
things.
Yep.
That
That's
they're,
true.
they are real. And it's not to take out, like you said, the idiomatic language, raining cats and dogs, all that kind of stuff. We've been taught that in school. But the thing is that there are certain things that apply to us as humans. And what do we want? See, it's like, sure, some people might like saying things like that. They might get some enjoyment out of that. I'm not going to knock it, but what I'm saying is that I use those as examples to say, watch, watch what you're thinking, watch what comes out of your mouth.
Like be cognizant of what you're really manifesting, basically, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because every thought that you have in your mind, every thought that you speak, because before you can speak it, you've got to think it.
Think it.
Okay, so you've already thought it. And see, a lot of thoughts can bring you things that you yourself don't want to experience, So that is the idea of that thing, that energy has its own language.
Greta, I remember being taught years ago that the unconscious doesn't differentiate between like a sense of humor. It doesn't know, like, if you're joking about yourself, but you're saying something negative, your unconscious is going to think that is what you want to experience. And it does bring it to you. So I think of it that way also, because I used to be real big on making fun of myself to people to make people laugh. And I started to realize that that was really not a good thing for me to be doing, because the unconscious was like, okay, fine, here you go. This is what you want. Here it is. So even joking, be careful what you're saying, be cognizant of the words and the meanings, and stay in high vibration as much as possible.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the other thing about this is that when you criticize somebody
Mm,
or you judge them, it looks at it as it's you.
right, right.
So it doesn't look at it as the person you're talking about, because the energy, each one of us deals with the energy on a personal level. So it's personal when you're saying to somebody, you're a blooming idiot, or, you're a fat pig, or whatever, however you want to discern somebody in a negative way. The energy is not looking at the other person as being the receptor of this. It's looking at you. You're the one that said it, so therefore it's in you. Therefore, you want to experience it.
And yes, and that's we. In other words, you taught us, Greta, is projection. You are
Right.
projecting who you are by how you
Mhm.
speak to other people. And do you want someone to speak that to you? As they said, was who's it? Jesus do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It should also add, speak unto others as you would have them speak unto you, or think of others the way you would have them think of you. So I mean, you can expand it because the reverberations about the things that we say. I mean, we just don't know what they're going to mushroom and grow into. But
Absolutely.
but to be quite honest with you, sometimes, you know, something seems like it'd be a boring place to live without.
Kathy, there's a difference between positive words and political correctness, and I think that's more what you're referring to, is all the jokes. I was just talking to somebody yesterday about a joke that I knew from when I was really, really a long time ago. And every time I told this joke, everybody laughed. But I thought about it and I said, you know what? In this time period now, this 21st century, it's referencing nationalities of people. That's not politically correct anymore. So I can't tell that joke anymore without being judged as being not politically correct.
Well, then that means woman may have to get rid of his. Well, he's just a dumb Neanderthal, because
It's like that insurance commercial with the
oh
caveman.
yeah, the caveman, he's a Neanderthal. Really, really, really. I mean, but now the caveman seems like he's the correct one. Because I mean, everybody's finding out they have Neanderthal
Yep.
DNA, and it's
Yep.
and some people don't have that, and some people do. So, you know, things change. We evolve, but it just seems like sometimes, I don't want to say, it just seems like it's I'm trying to expand myself, but all the stuff I'm used to doing has been shrinking me, and it's like sometimes I'm okay with it, and sometimes I go, "Gosh darn it, why can't I just make that joke?" And sometimes I tell you, I wake myself up laughing. Some of the things I come up with, I'm telling you, they are absolutely hysterical, and I'm like, "Oh, I can't wait to use that." Oh, let somebody say that. Oh, I'm ready. And it's not like it's just, to me, I see it as creativity. And which is part of being a being, a human. You know what I mean? And it's like, how do you get people to stop? Well, to change or alter. How do you alter? How do you change that within yourself, and in such a way that you can still be funny? And wasn't talking about political jokes. I was just talking about just stuff. Period. Because I'm just from a very funny family. They will make. My cousins had about 9 of them, and I'm gonna get off of this. But each one of them had a dog, and so my cousin said, "Well, we named whatever was sitting on the kitchen table is what we named our dogs. We had salt, pepper, mustard, ketchup, mayo, you know." So it's like, it seems like it's like sometimes you just want to enjoy just the bantering back and forth, just the wittiness of using the intellectual language or the language that we have. And this seems like it's kind of like,
See, Kathy, I'm not seeing it that way. When I say politically correct, I'm just talking about like PC. Like there are certain phrases, and even the stand-up comedians complain that they're not allowed to say anything anymore. It's not necessarily political. It's just being more sensitive to other groups of people. And I'm looking at it more of, it's the language of energy for us, for ourselves, that we need to be in tune with. So when you said, how do you do this? It's just being cognizant and going back to the love oneself unconditionally. It takes work. It takes practice. And that's
I
all
think
it
I
is.
can love myself unconditionally and throw a zinger or two out there.
Yeah, but again,
especially if those zingers, if what Greta said, if those zingers are really a reflection of me,
right.
then okay, so then I'm really zinging myself. So, therein, what's the big deal is my question.
Well, because you don't want to down yourself. Some of those zingers are sent out there down to down people or to down yourself. And that's what the thing is, that the energy is going to support you in downing yourself.
Mm.
And the energy recognizes that if you're criticizing somebody, if you're
criticizing yourself,
calling them outside of their name in any way, shape, or form, be it funny or whatever, it's looking at it as, okay, that's you. And
Right.
you want to experience that. Some of the things that I know that you were mentioning, Carol, that some of the comedians say are microaggressions.
Yeah, they are.
You see,
Exactly.
so that, against other people. But anyway, Carol, take us out of here now.
Okay, we got really hot on this topic. All right, everybody, we're going to come back in a few minutes. We ask you to stay with us, listeners and viewers, and we will be right back. Welcome back, listeners and viewers. You're watching Shifting Impressions, or you're listening to Shifting Impressions. We're talking about energy, and we are at that point in the show where the realm is going to come in and talk about the quote that they've given. So, realm, welcome.
Thank you.
We're always happy to have you. We're talking about the energy and the language of energy. And the quote you gave, Greta, was energy has its own language. Very succinct. It's only 5 words, which is not usual, but it's very powerful. So please give us more thoughts about it.
Well, first, we want to take the audience back to the understanding of the force. The force being that energy which created all of existence, every universe, every individual. And part of, not a part of it, but it's like the aspects of the force, one of those aspects, two of the aspects are ones that you use to create your realities. And they are the energy. Because see, thought, you said earlier that thoughts are things, but thoughts are energy. Everything that you create is energy. So you've created out of energy, and everything is the energy that you use to create, if that is understandable. So consequently, those two aspects of the force work together to support you in your creation of reality, regardless of what you are creating. So I would like to remind everyone that there are no miracles. Miracles do not exist because you are the one that's creating your reality. If all of a sudden you couldn't walk and then you're able to stand up and walk, it's not a miracle. It's that you created to walk. So the first thing is to understand that you create your reality at every moment. There is no time that passes by that you are not creating your reality. So that is one thing to remember. You create your reality at all times. Notice what I've said. You create your reality because you cannot create somebody else's reality. You cannot. I don't care how well you think you can, but you cannot. There are people that like to take on in their personalities, they like to take on the idea of saving people and think that they can actually save them. There are people that think that they can actually heal people. That is a misnomer, both of them, because you cannot do anything to anybody. It's impossible. Now you're probably going to think if somebody walks up and shoots somebody dead, then they've killed them, but they have supported. Remember, the existence protocol is create, support, support, create. And when I am creating, you are supporting me. So if it is time for me to exit, then you're coming to support me in that exit, really. So things are not always what they look like to you. Now, keeping all of that in mind, let us return to the topic, which is energy has its own language. When you are doing affirmations, when you are doing the the QDRs, as we have discussed on several of the podcasts. You are speaking to two parts of the force. You are speaking to the unconscious, and you are speaking to the energy. Both are working together to assist you in dealing with your reality. So, Kathy, you mentioned that you want to have fun and that you're feeling tightened because the suggestion is watch what you say. You see, it's not so much we want to take the fun out of life, but we want you to be cognizant of the things that you are thinking about others and thinking about yourself. Sometimes when you're angry with yourself, that you've created a reality that you do not want to experience, you can get angry with self. You see, that is why we gave that affirmation, that 9-sentence affirmation. It says, we love ourselves unconditionally. We forgive unconditionally. We love ourselves unconditionally. We feel ourselves loving ourselves unconditionally. We forgive ourselves unconditionally. We thank you, we thank you. The strongest part of that affirmation is we thank you, because that's a signal. That's in the language of energy. Because when you say we thank you, you are not only recognizing that you create your own reality, but you're recognizing that someone or many things supported you in those realities, regardless if you like them or not. So you're thanking them. We thank you because through these things do you grow. Now, humans use language. Humans use language to communicate. You use language to assist you in growing because you read books or you go to lectures and you hear people saying things. So you're learning through the language that you speak or the languages that you speak. It's a learning tool. So energy, if we translate that, energy is a learning tool. It is not to make you feel sad or whatever, because now you can't tell your silly jokes. It's to assist you in creating the realities that you want to create. That is the purpose. That is why we are saying, watch what you speak. I don't think there's anybody here that would want to break a leg, you see. However, there's something in the English language that when you want somebody to really do a good job, you tell them, go out there and break a leg, you see. But nevertheless, when you say it, the breaking of the leg is with you because you said it. It's not with the person that you're saying it to. It's with you because you said it. Now, how can that be taken as something challenging when it was not meant to be that way? How it can be taken as it can go into a reverberation. And everybody, I think, knows, if you don't, reverberation means it's a reality that you create and it grabs hold of another reality. And then that reality grabs hold to another reality. So you really don't know where that reality is going, you see. So you tell somebody happily, go out there do a good job, break a leg, you see. So, but however, later on down the line, you don't know how the energy is going to interpret that. It's like fearless. You use that example. So the energy cues into the word fear because that's what it speaks. That's how it understands. How it speaks also and interprets what you're saying is that it knows that you are saying it. So you want the experience. That's why we suggest in the English language or whatever language you speak, not to use that language for criticism of others, not to use that language in judgment of others. Because in the language of energy, it's not going to see that. It's going to see that in reference to you. That's important. So as you judge someone, we don't care who it is. As you judge somebody, as you criticize them, the energy only looks at it in terms of it being with you. So if you don't want to say that that person is stupid, because then you're only talking about yourself. And the energy is going to say, oh, that person is thinking they're stupid. That's how it's going to read that. The only time where you can give out low vibrational messages to the unconscious is by way of the that you want to get rid of is by way of your QDRs, quick displace replays. We gave that to you so that that is an opportunity for you to get rid of some of the things that you do not want to keep. So you're notifying, you're speaking the language of the energy. When you say, I am experiencing, releasing all emotions and thoughts that support me in creating and maintaining being judgmental, critical, not loving unconditionally. You can name all the things that you want to get rid of. But sometimes you don't remember the language that you've been using all along. Sometimes you forget that you've said something. But don't think that the unconscious forgets it. The unconscious remembers everything. It does not forget one thing. Carol, were you saying something?
No, I just said it doesn't, when you said it doesn't forget, I said everything.
Absolutely. It holds on to everything. Everything you do. So that when it feels that you need some assistance in those realities, it's going to help you with that. Like, let's say you told somebody, well, break a leg. Okay? They're going to go perform and you tell them go break a leg. But in your mind, when you said it, you weren't happy about them getting that part in the play and being recognized as a wonderful public speaker or actor. In your mind, but you just know it's something that you say, go and break a leg. But in your mind, you don't like that person. So you got two things going there, ladies. You're saying something that you think is so innocent. Go break a leg. But while that person is saying that, they're thinking, I can't stand that person's guts. That's not fair. I should have gotten the part, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the unconscious and the energy are working together. They recognize that you're not saying that out of appreciation for that person.
Right, but it can recognize that you are if you don't harbor, if you're not harboring those feelings. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that if you're talking about it being funny, the unconscious will recognize that, okay, that's funny, you see. That's funny. It can recognize that you're meaning that it's funny. The energy is just going to see the isness of it. And let me correct ourselves that the unconscious is only going to see the isness of something. However, it's going to understand how you are really thinking in reference to that. And
Right.
it's how you're really thinking
So if you
that is
really
going
want
to
that person to
create
do
a
well,
reverberated reality for
right. So
that.
if you're really saying that because in your mind it's a form of wishing someone good luck, that you're really happy that they're doing that, then it's not the same thing. Is that what you're saying?
Well, what we're saying is that, yes, in a sense, that as long as your thoughts
Right.
are meaning that, if your thoughts are meaning that, you see, but we're using it, and you used a lot of these idioms to say, watch out what you speak, you see. And we're just telling people point blank, watch what you say that comes out of your mouth. Watch what you say. It's like sarcasm. You want to be sarcastic with somebody or to send them some zingers. Well, see, what happens with that is that the energy is going to zing it right back to you.
Yep.
So
That I
you
do
want to be careful of that. You want, and it's not to be careful in terms of being fearful about it. It's not about that. It's about paying attention to what that you want high vibrational words to come out of your mouth, high vibrational things to come out of your mouth. That's what we're stressing. We're using those idioms as just a little extra attention to how you have to look at words.
right.
So
But
the
sometimes
energy will give you what you're going to put out there. Just remember that. And it's
right.
not going to worry about what you said. It's just going to know, well, that person wants that experience, so we can give it to them. And it's not always literal either, that it will interpret that. But it's going, because a lot of things go into that interpretation of the language. You've got the unconscious that's also working in that interpretation. You
And
see.
that's why, Realm, one of the things that I have been, you know, like I think I said this before, practicing is when I do go down that little rabbit hole, at least I feel strong enough to lift myself up out of it. And a lot of it, is just like just so much just going on. And I'm listening to everybody. So what you're saying, if I'm hearing it correctly, all the newscasters, all the pundits, all the stuff they're saying about what's going on and who's doing what, are you saying they're really speaking about themselves, or are they speaking about the situation or the people?
If anybody, usually those people who are on the news, they have writers that are writing the things for them. So the writers then are going from their perception of how they view the situation. Everything is perception,
Right, that is true. Okay.
you see. So some people may get on the news and criticize certain people, you know, because they're giving their opinions. But we have to understand that as they give the criticism, part of that or all of it has got to be within them as well. Remember, you cannot see things in another that are not in you, you see.
That's the part. That's therein. I'm not gonna say lies the rub. as Shakespeare would say. I'm just saying there's a QED, a QDR, whatever you want to say.
I was going to say, what's a QED?
That was
QED
interesting.
means end, an end. Yeah.
Well, we're about to sign off pretty soon. Realm, is there any last words you want us to remember about this quote?
We want you to remember, pay attention. This whole podcast today is to support you in paying attention to what you are thinking and what you are speaking. If you're speaking to a human, then of course you can say all those things. But when you're talking to the energy, you don't want to use those things for the energy. So dealing with the energy, you want to speak the language of the energy. The QDR is the language of the energy. A affirmation is the language of the energy. But we suggest to remember to put in I am experiencing so that the energy will know this is something you want to keep going. You see,
Okay.
not something that you want to just be there temporarily and then go away. So you want to speak with I am experiencing this so that you can keep on experiencing and experiencing. So there are different words that support the energy and support your creation of reality in different ways, you see. So, but watch what you think, watch what you speak, and let go of criticizing people, judging people. We don't care who the person is that you want to criticize or judge. We highly suggest that you forget that, because as you judge and as you criticize someone, regardless of whoever the person is, you have to be talking about yourself first.
Right. Those are great words, Realm. Thank you so much. We're going to say goodbye to you. Thank you again. And would you bring Gretta back so she could say goodbye to our audience?
Of course.
Thank you, Realm. All right, listeners and viewers, this weekend is Gretta, Kathy, and the Realm will be in LA. I gave you that information earlier. Please stop by to see them. And we're going to ask everyone to just tune in every week. And thank you, Gretta. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Realm. Thank you, Transformation Network. But mostly thank you to you, listeners and viewers, until we create each other again.
Once again, thanks for joining us at Shifting Impressions, Conversations with the Realm of Beings on TransformationTalkRadio.com. As you have explored today's creation of reality experience with the Realm and me, Gretta, each of you is being supported by us in further developing the understanding that you are not just an individual existing in linear time and space, but a multi-dimensional force of infinite possibilities who is connected to all. So begin to create the realities you want. Join us every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time and 11 a.m. Eastern Time on Shifting Impressions at TransformationTalkRadio.com. So long until we create each other again next Friday.